give you an eagle now. So its outlook for inflation is very stable.
Alright, I guess we're just doing this in Discord today, so it looks like it's just basically some traders from my room, but that's alright. Let me do this disclaimer, and I'll be back in a minute.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites are digital venues for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in Wholesale Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without transformation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Good morning. Just had to stop running in queue. I'm just trying to get my bearings here. As usual, filled to the tick, stopped out on a trade, and then I missed some whopping whoppers, if you will. All right, I'm just watching this. This is not a Gexy. I took it at Gexy earlier here, sexy Gexy. So that's when we get opposing volume event into these Gex levels. There was a bunch of sell ice here. I took that. Then I got distracted on one of my other trades. I got out down here. This is the blue lug too. I'll go over this. And this was an incredible 3-2-1 ATR reversion right back to the zone. Missed that. That was an absolute whopper. And then I had a reversion on here, and I got sidetracked. I missed. I would have definitely been on I put on two of these. This is a back in black off of these Gex levels where it tags the Gex here. We had the sell ice event, and I took the 2 and the 1. And I just got distracted. I definitely would have got out of some here, especially with this volatility that's going on right now. So I would have got out at least half of that. And then I turned my head and I got stopped out of both of those coming back. So just the usual start to the morning. Should be up huge. Instead I'm about even. And then this Russell trade, I took a position trade here. This is what basically distracted me from the winners I should have had on. I put on an Izzy trade here, and my MO filled to the exact tick, and then watch it rip off the page. That's this guy right here. There was a stop run into this inflection zone at the time. One of my important areas that I look for volume events. So at the time I was into that, and I was wanting to take that short. And that was the exact fill right there, and turns around and stops me out. So it's like Groundhog Day lately. Every day, same thing. Filled to the tick, stopped out, and then I've already missed like 3 whoppers. There's another trade here in gold. Sell ice, this wasn't quite an Izzy, but it was on the lug. I don't take these aggressively, so I would have waited for a retest, but you can see how these levels, both of these, and this is why we use these things. It's just incredible. Right, so anyway, that was that sell ice.
Stocks extend gains, but the Nasdaq up to 1%.
I don't understand where this.
S&P 500 up around spot 6%.
I look for buy ice or sell stuff, an opposing volume event into these. So I missed that because it just wasn't part of my rules. But just to show the lug and then show you another trade that I just missed. That back in black was off the lug in the. I look at these levels; they're incredible. I don't care how volatile the market is. Right off there. So I could have taken that one too into the for the reversion trade. So woulda, shoulda, coulda on to the next events, but just it's been like that lately. So we had this is a double whammy, buy stops into the waiting hands of the sell ice. So we'll adjust this zone into 1. All right, Dan, if you're on here, you got to help me get this Discord muted. I cannot listen to people coming in and out the entire time. We've tried this before and it never sticks. If you're on here, let me know how to mute this channel so I don't hear people coming in and out, because I will lose my mind today. So if you're on here, please hop on and help me. All right, so first step is identify the event, and then we've got different trades, obviously strategies. So I'll be referring to these all day. We got position trading strategies where we're looking for bigger moves. We have auto fade strategies. That's the sexy gexy that I took in NASDAQ earlier, where we're jumping right in the middle of the zone. And then we have reversion trades where we're take trades back to the zone. So there's something in here for every type of trader, right? So you got to figure out your personality. Position trades are looking for bigger moves where you can be sitting in the trade for hours, waiting for the moves into other important areas to get out of the trade. These are more for our traders that just insist on, they just don't believe on waiting for the move out of the zone. So from my events, I wait for the ATR. For my position trading, I wait for the ATR move out of the zone and enter their trade. It's just a better way to take the trade, a more secure way to take the trade, if you will. We're not getting whipsawed out of it, but these I will take in right in the middle of the zone. And then these are more for scalpers that love to, the in-out type of trade. They don't come any better than this guy right here, this back in black that I already showed, that I missed, of course. If I could find the damn chart. Hold on here. Not on the chart. Hold on here. So this is the reversion trade where we're trading. These markets have a ridiculous propensity to come back to these zones. So that's what all these lines are on this chart. I don't know why I have this thing on mute and it's still talking. I don't understand what. I'm talking about my squawk here. I don't know why it's not muting. Anyway. So when you look at this chart, it looks like there's a million things on here. It's very simplistic. We'll go over it. But anyway, this was the reversion trade. So anyway, we'll go over these. There'll be more. So I will show you in real time. All right, complete reversal. So ES came back, and this is another trade I missed. So I put on the loser and missed the winner. ES came down here earlier, right in this inflection zone. This was really important what happened here. This market did a failed balance breakdown yesterday. That was already bullish. Then it pulled back right to the high volume node. High volume node is the middle of a balance area where the most trade occurs. And I missed this absolute whopper of a trade. So those trades are aggressive entries, meaning I'm getting in the minute it breaks out of there, and I could have taken this either way. So again, this was the trade that I didn't get out of my reversion because I was sidetracked, but you'd get in there and you'd already have 25 points in that trade. But again, I don't like easy winners. I just like the ones that throw me to the tick and rip off the page. All right, do have a plus reversion, so this is another type of trade, right? So we play for that scalp trade I was talking about, where we're playing for a move back to the event. So they're even better when you get the entry in or before a prior event with the stop outside of it, because any trader like this sell ice or any traders that are loaded up in here, when it comes back, they want out. So that helps propel it back to the zone too. So I'm going to put this on here when it comes back. And up here you see the position sizing for the individual trades, right? So that if I'm taking these reversion trades, for each one of these I'm risking $500 if I put on the 1, 2, or 3. And then position trading I can only put in 0.3. So 3 micros. If you're risking $500, so that this zone drawing tool is available in the Bookmap marketplace. We'll go over all this, but it helps cover all the mistakes that traders makes as far as where you get in, where you get out, the position sizing, so on and so forth. So we'll go over this, but let me get this trade in here so I don't miss this one too. So my entry's there and my stops way down here. So all I'm playing for is a bounce back to the zone. Let me put this on my other account as well. 75. Alright, that's working. Stops down here. One second, please. Hold on. Turn off sounds. Turn on streamer mode. What? I don't know where streamer mode is. Alright, I'll just deal with it for right now. I don't want to. I know I'll screw something up if I start playing with this Discord. Alright, so that's working here. A plus reversion. And then we go on to other potential strategies. I mean, we're in no man's land here as far as shorting, right? We're at all-time highs, so there's really nothing to short up here. It's just air as far as there's no zones. This could be a Ludwig level. Let's see. That's pretty close to the lug. So if it gets up here, there is a short I can put on. Other than that, there's nothing else for me to do on the short side, right? I look for inflection zones, market profile composites. There's nothing up here because we're at all-time highs. That's the only thing I can short. If it gets up there and I get a opposing volume, I can put that short on. Other than that, I'm just taking reversion trades and potential sexy gexies. So again, sexy gexies are moves into these gex levels where I fade like I did on this first one this morning. All right, so this one I jumped in smack dab in the middle of the zone with sell ice because we already know the dealers are going to be hedging here. They're not the only entity in the market. Most of the time, their hedging is the biggest flow that's coming in. I'll look at that too. This is actually a great example. So this market turned around. I will guarantee you, before I have even looked at this, I will guarantee you to the exact minute this is where this market turned around. So let's just look before I even look at it. So this tagged. I did get out of the short at this area, which was a very good call, right? X4 and that blue lug. But let's see, this is 6:46 my time, 9:46 Eastern, where this hero turned around. So watch this. And there was a flow alert that I didn't hear because I'm not getting alerts. So right about there was the low. About a minute later, launches from almost minus 1.5 billion to plus 1.9 billion. So this is exactly why this market is doing what it's doing lately. It is unbelievable. I've never, again, I wasn't even privy to what was going on in the options market as far as how important it is, and it's just growing day by day with the 0-day to expiration game that these guys are jerking the market around. It's unbelievable, and especially when the market's doing nothing, it's even more unbelievable what they can do. But you can see here, and this did exactly, and it's not the other way around. This is not leading that. This is leading the market. So it would behoove you to have this information to know, hey, I don't want to fade. Here it comes. Oh, I wanted to get short in this area, aggressively. Say you're using some other method to short. Well, you might want to know this thing's moving notionally huge against you. You do not want to be messing around with that because these dealers that are getting loaded up. The dealers are on the other side of this move. They got to turn around and hedge themselves in the future. So there's not a question whether they're going to be hedging or not. They have to, right? Because they're delta neutral and they're not taking positions. So that's why that happened. That's why this happened. And yes. And again, if I would have been paying attention here, I'm not looking at my Russell loser to the tick, and if I would have heard the flow alert, I would have been out of all my trade right there, this reversion trade, and I just missed it. You can see, look at this move. 30 straight points on this hero move. Unbelievable. So there you go. So this literally went. So notionally, every time you get a billion move, it's important, according to Brent from Spot Gamma, which it is because I've been watching it now for months. This thing moved 5 billion, 4 billion in minutes. And that's why you're getting this reaction. So again, if you're not using that, let me post this as well. Actually, I gotta find my flip book here. Hold on, so you can get a discount to Spot Gamma. So everything's in Discord today. So I will post this in the Discord chat. If you got questions, please put them in there. So that's what I use in my, everything I use in my trading. We'll go over that. Still waiting for this potential reversion. All right, so there's nothing for me to short up here as far as my important areas. The only thing I'm looking for here is a reversion trade. I'll move back to the volume event. And again, you got to adjust this until you get filled as well, so that's up a little bit more. So huge opportunity. I basically missed every single big trade. I missed this Izzy. I missed getting out of this. This was probably a $2,000 winner. I missed getting out of that. Instead, I lose $1,000. That's pleasant. And then I missed the Izzy trade. That's a 30-point trade in counting. And I missed the back in black trade here off of the. I mean, they don't get any better than this, right? So again, this is the drawing tool, right? You can get it in the. Show this right here. So in this flip book, you can go to the Bookmap Marketplace. This is everything I use in my trading. We'll go over this, but here's a drawing tool, right? In the Bookmap Marketplace, right there. So you got the basic version that's just basically, and of course it's not taking me to it. And it's not on the front page, of course. It's just typical. All right, so this is supposed to be taking me to my, there it is. So anyway, the basic just shows you the zone and the ATR. The pro shows you all your reversion lines. So that's why when you look at this chart, it looks like there's 5 million things on here. There is, but it's not complicated, right? We're looking at the volume event. That's down here. Also in the subchart that draws on the zone. That's why we have this now. We used to have to draw these by hand. And then you have the ATR, which is the blue line. The current ATR is about 30 in here. I mean, it's rotating about 30 points every 5 minutes. Then you have for the position trading, the yellow line is just outside of an ATR. So if I go long, I'm going long here, and my stop's down here. I do that to avoid the algorithmicness that is just controls these markets. It helps me stay out of trouble on whipsaw rotations. And then you have the reversion lines, right? So you got the one, so this is the one that I missed, of course. 1 ATRs there, the 2 ATRs here, the 3 ATRs here. You can take these aggressively. If you took them aggressively, you were stopped out of the 1 and the 2. I've been taking, and I think it's just a better trade, and I can't keep up with the aggressive ones. The aggressive ones work all the time too, but the point is if you're going to take the aggressive ones, meaning as the market moves into them, you got to take every one or it's a random trade. So the ones that I take are the back in blacks, meaning that's the name of the trade. We're waiting for it to bounce off an important area, and then we take the corresponding ATRs coming back. So you can see it bounced right off the GX4. You could have got that's dotted line here. You can see it over there on the right, reversion 3 entry, and you see it down here on the left too. And then you see it over here if you want to just look at the, that's what these numbers are here too. So that was the 3, the 2, the 1, straight back to the zone, you're out. So that was, they don't get any better than that. That was a 100-point trade. You could have 3 different trades on there based on this position sizing. So, all right, this market's just literally to the moon right now. I can take reversions and will take reversions off of this, the back in black, off the GX8, if that happens. So let me put this notification in so I don't miss this one as well. Oh, I gotta make another column here because I rolled my... Let's make this custom notes. So all these products just rolled to December too. So if you haven't rolled them, you're in the wrong month. All right, so that'll let me know if that gets up there, and I'll take a reversion, back in black reversion, short off of this GEX level. So these are the Method Q levels. I use both Method Q and Spot Gamma. They both have, you know, their huge advantages. You see here, for instance, this is, and these are very most likely related, right? So they're off a little bit, but this area is important. There's nothing for me to do off of this. You know, there's no event here. You know, the Method Q guys and Spot Gamma guys, they will trade these blindly, meaning without a stop iceberg event. I need a stop iceberg event for any trade that I make because it's the most powerful thing I've ever seen. So unless I get that, I mean, this can bounce off here and move 30 points. I don't care. If I got an opposing event, meaning sell ice like we saw at NASDAQ, or buy stops, which are usually fade trades. It's just guys puking out and then it reverses. then I'll take these trades. If not, then I'll just watch it bounce off here and just confirm how powerful these areas are. But I need, just like any of my other trades, I need to get a stop iceberg event in the area to take the trade. So nothing to do here right now. And this, actually, technically, I could take this reversion trade if I really, really wanted to, because never actually retested. I mean, it's saying a lot, but I've seen this before where it moves this far and comes all the way back. So technically it came back, but it didn't really. It isn't officially. Like if I'm an algo, I'm still taking this trade, this reversion trade if possible, because it never really retested, right? So my point is, once it retests the first time, I'm done with the reversions. I don't take them again. Doesn't mean it can't keep coming back to the zone, and usually you'll get another event anyway. But technically I can't take this. So, you know, if this starts rolling back here, I mean, we're at probably, what's that, the 3, it's probably the 4, the 5, probably at the 6 ATR here. I don't take those, but you know, if this starts to come off here, maybe I'll give these a shot again, because it has not officially retested, but I only look for one retest on the reversion trade, so keep an eye on that. And then I still have the A plus reversion working here, or I'll take the short off of this. We'll see how that happens. Now, of course, the market completely dies down. Let's see what else we got here. Here's whatever reversion in the works. Did I miss this one too? Oh my God, I cannot believe how many trades I missed today. So I'm showing that I just showed this market. I've been telling my trade room they're about to put me away for what's been going on in the last month as far as me missing trades, getting stopped to the tick. Here's another one. I don't know how I'm not seeing this, because I just showed you guys this chart. This is gold. You got 2 GEX levels here. You take the corresponding back in blacks, coming straight back to the zone. So it's just incredible that these, one, how well these trades work. 2, it's incredible that I seem to miss them all. So I have no excuse. I showed you guys this market here. I showed you the trade I missed because, again, I'm focusing on the negatives like a poor trader does. Remember I showed you this trade off the lug? Well, I need to see this bounced off here, and I need to take the ATRs coming back. So that's 100% going to come back to the zone. So anyone in my trade room that's got that on, or who's got my reversion course, that's the epitome of a back in black. We already saw one in NASDAQ. I already showed it from the other long. So that's disappointing, like everything else today. Let's see what's going on in crude. So roll your crude to November. No events in here yet. I gotta get out of, close out September because it's done. Some tick strike rolling here. Alright, so I will take this reversion trade off of here like I was talking about. So this is my sizing, so this is the one reversion. But I'm not going to take it aggressively. I want to see it hold that level, and then I'll take it coming back. That's the back of black trade. Soybeans, bunch of, I caught a nice trade in here, a couple nice trades in here yesterday, bunch of sell ice here. Here's another missed trade right here, sexy Gexy. Market moved into this Gex 1. Sell ice, you could have jumped in aggressively, meaning right in the middle of the zone, and here you go. If you like 5-point trades, which is actually a big trade when the ATR is only 1. Missed that one. I've already shown you guys like 5 missed trades, like whoppers today that I've missed. It just gets old. I mean, I'm doing too much. That's my issue. It's like I'm trying to do all of these strategies, all these different markets on these webinars, and even when I'm sitting here by myself, and it's just I've got a lot on my plate, and it's costing me huge. But it is what it is. I mean, when the markets are like this, I'm fine, right? I got a lot. That's one of my gifts. I have a large bandwidth where I can do this stuff. Like I used to be a scalper, where I would be, trading in and out all day long. So I can do it. But when you got 15 things firing off in 8 different markets, that's where anybody struggles, right? So but it's uncanny how the ones that I do put on lately have been the losers, like you saw that Russell trade, and then the ones I miss are all winners. So that's where I'm struggling. And again, guys, I'm a human, and I make I've been trading 25 plus years, and I still get upset about the things that you're supposed to just let roll off your back. But that's another important thing that all trading psychologists teach, including Dr. Brett, who is probably the top one in the world, Brett Steenbarger. You don't ignore your emotions, right? You have to acknowledge them. I don't acknowledge them the best way, right? I kind of like talk myself into a frenzy. But you don't act like things don't bother you. It bothers you. You just get it out however you can get it out, and you move on. But my weakness is I just keep harping on it. You can hear on this webinar, I've already talked about the missed trades like 20 times, right? So it's like I have to get better at that. I'm 25 years into it, and I'm still pretty bad at that, right? So this is why trading is so hard for most people, right? It's like, most people don't even have an edge. That's why it upsets me the most, right? Like I'm seeing these trades are right in front of me, and somehow I'm missing them. So that's what I've been struggling with lately, and I just got back for basically $250,000 by my buddy to trade these strategies, and it's just like now I have in my mind extra pressure to show him how well it works, because if I show him how well this stuff works, kind of like I'm showing you right now, he'll back this for millions, right? So it's like I have all this pressure, I'm missing these trades, so I'm going through a not very good period mentally right now. It doesn't mean the stuff doesn't work, right? So a great example was yesterday, some of my trade rooms like, thanks to Scott again, I'm taking another $2,500 payout from from Apex or Top Step, whatever he's using, and and I said, you can thank me for the system, but it still takes. I can show you the holy grail, which I think this is the stop iceberg information. But it doesn't mean that you're just going to just sit down and start printing money. It takes a lot. You see me. It's my system, and somehow, some way, I'm screwing up lately, right? As far as missing trades, so on and so forth. So the point is, yes, you have to have an edge. So think about it. Think about these traders that don't even have an edge. How they have no chance, right? I'm showing you the best edge I've ever seen, and you can still find a way to screw it up. So give yourself kudos if you are doing well with what I'm teaching you, because you can still find a way to screw it up. And I'm firsthand, I can't even think of the word, showing you how that's possible. So, all right, there's been not one event now since we've hopped on the webinar. Huge opportunity early and nothing now, but I'm still waiting for this if this bounces off this. So this is a sexy Gexy now too here. Come on. Come on. So I'm going to wait and see if it tags this. Right. That's close enough. All right, so this trade I was working is canceled, right? Because I was going to take a reversion trade off this prior event. Well, we have a new event now. So even if I was in this trade and a new event fires off, I get out. So now we can work that trade. So I took a sexy Gexy here. This feels horrible, right? This feels like this thing's going to rip off of the page, which it has been. But this is my setup. I've got buy stops, which are usually fades, into a Gex level. I mean, it is Gex 8, so it's not the strongest Gex level. And you can figure that out for yourself, too. I still don't really know what's the best. Do we take them? I've been taking them off all the Gex levels. But you may say, after trading, I may say, too, I mean, granted, I'm going on probably 10 months trading these things. Hey, do you not take the Gex that, you only take Gex 1 through 5 in the major, like call wall, put support, things like that. I've been taking them all, and I'm okay taking this, but, this trade feels terrible because the market literally, I mean, look at this thing. This is, how the seller is doing today, pretty good. And that's just insanity. So, but guys, this is trading. You get. I don't care if you trade on feeling. You are in big trouble, right? Especially in the algo days now, algo environment. You get your event. I probably could have waited a second. I could have gotten a better fill here. So anyway, this is one of my auto entry trades where I take a short into these as soon as the event fires off. Most of my shorts, which I could. This actually is a slug here too now, right? So I could short this too on a position trade right here. So here's the Ludwig level. Again, we already saw this thing bounce off this one exactly. So if this fails, I will take a slug short. That's this. This is a position trade. I'm already short Gexy, so I'm short this one. Sexy Gexy. Take any fade trade into a spot gamma or a Menther Q level. Gamma level trade is taken immediately when the opposing event fires off. So that's what I did. Again, I could have waited a second there. And then we have a potential position trade where I wait for a move out of the zone. That's the slug right here. Stop run at major lug. Take any trade as a fade trade with a stop run into the major lug, red or blue. So for that trade, I wait for it to move all the way out to put the trade on. Because this is how I take my position trades. Because this guy's, again, I've been trading these things for 8 years, literally a million of these things. So I've determined I used to jump in all the trades right in the middle of the zone, and I learned the hard way that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it that I've determined from watching so many of these for your position trades is to let it show its hand and push the ATR plus, and I have it right now set at 15%, which just seems like just the absolute perfect price to tag and then go the other way. But the point is, that's what I force for my position trades. I force that to get out of there. So I will put on a slug short here, 755.50. And then we also have an A plus reversion trade brewing. These are different strategies. So you can take the A plus reversion long, which I will, and then I'll take a slug short if it tags that price. So let me put these in so I don't miss these trades. So the short aggressive, you can see down there in the bottom left, the entry is 755.75. And here's the position trading sizing, right? So this is, I'm risking $500 on both the Apex accounts that I have and my live accounts, $500. So I can, to get in here and get out here based on the zone drawing tool. And again, this is what I force. If I'm going to put the trade on here, I force the market to come back in ATR, get through the volume event, push another ATR plus out to prove me wrong, to stay out of this algo nonsense, right? So that's that sizing. If I'm putting in the position trade, I mean the reversion trade, I can put on 0.7 risking $500 for this one ATR reversion. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I put on the Gexi for this. This is for a trading firm that I'm trading on this one. This is live too. I will get out of the Gexi and into a full reversion trade long here if this comes back. So usually the sexy Gexis, if this wasn't all on one account, I'll get out of half on the dealer reaction, because the dealers are going to be hedging here, and then I'll hold half because it's an SI event and how I take position trades. This one, again, I'm getting out of all of it and flipping just because it's all on one account here. So let me get this on my live account as well, my other live account. So that A plus, again, see how this is moving? It's moving dynamically with the ATR, average true range. So I'm going to move that up, move it up. This entry is at 763.25. And then the stop for this A plus reversion is down here at 730.25. If you really wanted to, you can move it below these GEX levels, but I'll just stop out normally. I don't want to risk an extra 15 points. So this, see how it says reversion one stop, long stop loss. So this, once you understand what you're looking at, this is not complicated. I know when you just look at this for the first time, you're like, what in the hell is this guy doing? When you know what you're looking at, you're like, oh, this is very simplistic, because my trading is very simplistic. It's always been simplistic, and again, I made millions of dollars one time, not one time, over a period of years, 3-4 years, doing the simplest type of trading you can do. I didn't even have charts up. I was just watching the order flow. Can't do that anymore because it's all algos. You can try. You're going to not do well over the long run. You're going to churn your account, and you cannot click as fast as an algo. So stop emailing me asking how you trade off the dome. You don't. I used to trade off the dome. It's not possible to be consistent profitability if you're just trading off the dome. It's just too hard. You're not as fast as a computer. I used to be one of the fastest clickers on the planet. I'm not as fast as a computer. I gotta put this slow 56 quarter on here. 405. All right, and I got a meeting with Trade Copier Service, so I can, because I'm trying to trade these live accounts and the Apex accounts, and I'm gonna try to link them all up. So I'm not doing what I'm doing now, like I gotta go to like 5 different things to put trades on. So I will keep you, because there's going to be free trials and stuff. I'll keep you guys notified of that. We'll talk about it next week because I have a Zoom meeting with them today, actually. Linear select 126.
Prior and Q long retested.
All right, so that's working here. So let's see if we get the fill here. Actually, I can move this stuff down. Remember, you got to be adjusting this to get filled. So now you get to watch firsthand what I go through every day. Now watch this. This will come probably within one tick and then run away from me, because that's what goes on here. You can also keep an eye on this price change. We'll go over this. Could you just fill me? So you guys, this is why I lose my mind. It's like, I know all traders go through this, but look at that. Did I not call that beforehand? It's like I'm psychic, isn't it? So you can imagine that happening, right? There it is. I said it's going to come within one tick and run away, right? So that just ran away 15 points. I called it, but you know, most traders have to be resilient. I'm resilient, but when I see that occurrence happen 400 times a day, it starts to wear on you as a human being. So it's just, and that's why I always joke, if you've been on my webinars before, I always joke that there's a camera in my office. This is why it feels like there's a camera in my office. It's like it comes down within a tick or two and then just rips the other way. Or, like we saw here in Russell today, again, see, this is my biggest issue, always going over the bad things. Or it comes down, it fills me to the exact price, right? So if it just stops here, I never get filled, and I don't take a loser. Instead, it fills me there and then runs off the page. So it's like it either fills me to the tick and goes the other way, or it doesn't fill me and goes the other way. So that's what I deal with all day. And again, when you trade this many markets and strategies, you're going to go through this, but it's like, look at this here. And I'm just going to cancel this so I don't, because the problem is there's other traders that are trading this area. These algos are picking up these real orders in here, right? All right, so I got out of the short, and now I'm long. The A+ reversion stops down here. It finally tagged that price, but it's unbelievable how accurate these prices are. I just every day I sit here in amazement. I mean, they're my prices. It's my system based on the ATR and everything else. It is unbelievable how accurate these prices are. So this is the A+ reversion. This is the scalp type trade. So I put on the sexy Gexy. I jumped in right in the middle of the zone. I got out of it there, and I turned around and I took the A+ reversion. I already feel myself getting pissed off because I sit there and I watch that just dance around the price without filling me. It finally filled, but holy crap. All right, let me put this stop in here too, 31.75. All right, so that's working. So again, I'm going to be the only person on the planet, so if this reversion trade doesn't work long, I'll be the only person on the planet that can lose money being long these equities on the biggest up at all-time highs. So it's just me bitching. Anyway, I'm long that. Remember, I will take the short here, the slug short too. So that's the stop run and the lug. So they're different trades, different strategies. That's why I'm trading different accounts. Right? So you have the stop run into the lug. And this was almost... There we go. I actually need to adjust this price here. So again, you want to be adjusting your entry. I mean, look at this, guys. Like, look, I can't believe I didn't get filled to this to the tick, tell you the truth. It's unbelievable, these prices. It's my system. I've been watching this stuff for 8 years. It just amazes me that it's that accurate. Anyway, 57 is the entry. So the way I trade too, right, it's like I get in at, I will adjust my entry as this moves because it's moving dynamically with the ATR. But once I'm filled, my stop stays stagnant. I do not move my stop as say the volatility contracts and the stop. So if I look at that, I cannot believe I didn't get stopped filled to the tick there, by the way. Anyway, if it comes back, that's where I'm filled. My stop's up here. Wherever the stop is when I get filled, it stays there, because when volatility contracts, you'll see the stop price start coming in. I've tried this many times in the past where I'm like, oh, I'll save some money now. It'll come up, it'll stop me to the new stop price instead of the original one, and then do that, and then I sit here stewing all day. So that's incredible. I just sit here all day. Look at that. So let's see if we can get this reversion. So you're actually, I was telling my trader, you guys are watching real time, like a guy literally losing his mind. Real time. Again, this is why I don't scalp anymore either, guys, because it's like I'm just too old to be micromanaging and watching tick for tick, right? It's like, that's why I like just putting in my orders, moving on to a new market. You watch this stuff tick for tick, you will lose your mind after a period of 25 years. So, all right. But there's nothing else going on, so we're gonna have to stare at this thing. So we get to watch the algos right here, whipsawing traders to death. These algos know when nothing's happening, right? Meaning the big money's not in here playing. Nothing's happening. So then this is when they start whipsawing traders to death. This is why I put my stops where I put my stops, right? So if I fill on this, it'll probably come and fill me to the tick no matter what. That's why my stop's all the way up here for my position trading, right? Because I know that's going to happen very likely, and it helps me avoid panicking out of trades because the algos are whipsawing. Remember, spoofing's illegal though, so just remember that. I'm being sarcastic. This is the definition of spoofing. These guys have no intention on filling these orders. They're just playing games, right? So it's like, it's just amazing to me that it still goes on. So it's supposed to be illegal. I used to be one of the biggest spoofers on the planet, but that back then it used to be legal. I used to play games all day with the order book. So that, I guess this is just me getting a payback, right? Right, so again, this is very likely going to fill me to the exact tick, so get ready. I'm okay with it if this can get back to the damn zone, because I got a long on this account, so I'm okay with it. Let's see what Hero's doing, because I'm sure this is, again, this drives the show, runs the show, I should say. This is at highs. So the main complex you want to watch is this S&P 500, because that incorporates the SPX, the futures, the equities, so that's all of them combined. But this is why this market, we already went over this, this thing just moved from minus $1.5 billion to plus $3 billion. That's a $4.5 billion move. The other thing you want to watch out for, we're right around 10 o'clock every day, Central, 10:15. All right, just filled on that slug short. Right around that, the thing turns around and reverses whichever way it's pointing. So keep that in mind, and this thing's going to turn over. All right, so I filled on the short there. At least it wasn't to the tick, so I don't have to bitch about that. But I do have the reversion on. Again, I'm the only person on the planet Earth that can be long equities and lose money. So reversion's on, I'm short slug, and I got reversion long on. You could take, so say you didn't take the A plus reversion here, you could take back in blacks off of that as well. It's the same trade, but say this does one of these, which it probably will to stop me out of that. It bounces, I can take them coming back that way too, as long as they're not a new event. So right now, I'm in this reversion trade, right? If a new event comes in, I'm out. I don't care if it's a profit, if it's a loser, I'm out, and then you readjust to the newest event. So that's what I got working here. I'm trying my best not to watch that tick for tick because it's already driving me crazy. Let's see what's going on in here. If you got questions, guys, throw them in the Discord chat under my name. Overall, let's look at some structure stuff. So one big balance here, pretty much. Russell, and everything's fractal. Came down, bounced today. So that's what a balance breakout should do, right? Same thing with the ES. Yesterday, I was looking over the edge of the abyss. Of course, I lost my chart here. Hold on. So this is the epitome of a failed balance breakdown, right? Market tried to break down. All the sellers think they've got it. Granted, this was all during the Fed stuff. I mean, this was before the Fed stuff. Then it was all over the place. But this is the best position trading failed balance breakdowns. Tried to go break down, gets back to the high volume node. We look for an event, and you take it. But this is what should happen when a market has a failed balance breakdown, right? So that moved 50 points from there. that's what should happen on that. But right now, I don't really have an opinion up here, right? This is all-time highs. This can do anything up here, right? There's no structure. This can keep going. This can come back. I have no opinion. I do have opinions when you're working with structure, so on and so forth. So that was the trade yesterday. And again, it didn't really do it until overnight anyway, or this morning. So, all right, still getting tortured with this reversion trade. So I got the short slug and I got the reversion long on. Let's see if I can make money being long on at all-time highs. This trade, I think I jinxed my room because I said it was 100% going to retest. So here we are again. So actually, I am going to take this. This is the gold reversion that I was bitching that I missed. Because it still hasn't officially retested, right? So I'm playing a back in black reversions off of this GEX level, these Mentor Q GEX levels. So again, like I was saying earlier, they both have their attributes, right? Spot Gamma, you get the hero, you get their levels, you get his founder's notes every morning. We can look at that too. And you get the hero, the real-time options flow, and you get his levels, right? Did I even bring the levels in here? I didn't bring the levels in here. Oh no, this is gold. I was thinking I was on Russell. And then Mentor Q's got the gamma levels for all these other products. Spot Gamma doesn't have those for the other futures. So they're really important. Let me put this stop in too in case this rips off the page now. Really important. At the minimum, you're going to see why the markets are rotating and bouncing off certain areas, right? Like this hit this HVL earlier, it moved off over 100 ticks. So you need to know where these levels are because again, the 0-day to expiration trading is just taking over the markets. So you need to know this stuff. All right, so this is my MO. So let's do a little more bitching here. So when I'm not in a reversion trade, when I miss it, this is what it does within seconds. Right? Bounces off straight back. When I'm in a reversion trade, I sit here for 3 hours watching the thing, waiting for it to come back, watching it spin in place. So this is just what's been going on lately. And again, I'm one step away from the loony bin. All right, you got questions, throw them in. Desmond, hey Scott, how do you interpret open interest and gamma exposure? The gamma exposure is the levels I'm assuming that you're talking about. Again, guys, I'm not an options expert. I'm getting better at understanding it, but I'm not. I use it in the very basic sense, right? I'm watching these GEX levels, which is where these dealers are exposed with gamma. That's why they're hedging, right? Open interest, I don't pay attention to. Again, I'm not saying it's not important. If you find that important in your trading, perfect, right? All I'm saying is no matter what you use in your trading, it's not for me to tell you what's important in your trading. Make sure that you are using the Stop Iceberg information and my rules around them, I suggest, unless you watch a million of these and come up with your own rules, because this stuff is it's the driver of these markets, outside of the options stuff, right? And the algos, obviously, as you can see, these jackasses jerking the market around. But that's why we're 8 years into it. This is still the most powerful edge I have ever seen in trading are these Stop Iceberg events. So that's why I demand, and what I'm telling you, in anything that you're trading, to demand to see one of these to trade. Other than that, I mean, I'm not saying these levels can't hold, right? So if you're trading the Mentor Q levels, you're like, I'm waiting for this and I'm going to fade it. Fine, that worked. It's great. I'm just telling you, if you get this information, your trade is that much more powerful. Put it that way. All right, torture continues. I just got logged out of Hero. Not sure what's going on there. So here we go. This is why. Look at this. It just runs the show. So this just pulled back from 4.5 billion. This just pulled back 2.5 billion. That's why this is having a hard time getting back to my area. Again, this moves like a market, so it's not like you can predict unless you get the flow alerts first and foremost. They have this tape feature. I'm in contact with Spot Gamma. We're going to do a webinar. I want to know how to see this is going to happen before it happens. It's great seeing, like I said on that move up, ES moved 30 points on that. Well, great. It's great to know that's why it happened. I want to take advantage of that. We do have the flow alerts. We have a flow B trade, which I could have taken down here, by the way. But other than that, I want to see what does the size look like on here? What are the right filters to pick up when this thing may be moving 2.5 billion like it just did, right? And I could maybe avoid putting on a reversion in that case, type of thing. So the trade's on, but this is what's pushing this market down right now. This options flow just went the other way. The dealers are on the other side of this. They have to turn around and hedge in the futures. This hedging in the futures caused this move and this move. It is running the show. So I am short my slug, but other than that, so the thing is, it's like I can be a winner in both these trades. If this just does what it does almost every time, comes back, retests the zone, and then turns around and does that, I can take my reversion off and then still be short my slug. But again, I'm the only person on the planet that's long equities that potentially is going to lose money here. No other questions. Again, put them in Discord. All right, so for my slug trade, short, I will watch so I get out at important areas as the market makes money available to me. This is obviously a very important area. 2 gamma levels, 1 day max, right? So if this comes back here and it struggles, I'm going to get out of some of my slug. That'll be a nice, it's going to be about over a 30 point trade. So I'm looking at that, and then other areas I'll look at to piece out of some of my short. Almost always I'll get out of half at yellow lug, especially if it's around VWAP. So you can see yellow lug's down here and right around 96. And VWAP's at 05. So, if that ripped down there, I'd get out of some more too. I think that might be the same area as these, by the way. Pretty close. So this whole area is an area where I'll get out of most of my trade. I'll always leave one on, or a few on. Right, so that's that yellow lug, that's VWAP. You got the GEX levels. So if it does come down here, I will peel out of those shorts, most of them, but I'll always leave one on, trying to get to the other lug. Right, so here's a great example. If you just blindly bought the lug today, say, all right, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy the blue and sell the red. How did that work out? Right, so it's like no heat, straight there. So my point is, if that came down here, I'd peel out of some of my shorts, but I try to hold part of the position, the final part of my position, to the major lug and or an opposing volume event. So if I get a volume event that proves bullish, I'll be out. But other than that, I try to hold a portion to the major lug. Alright, so of course nothing is happening now. I might take these other reversions here coming back. So this is where you can get into trouble though when a market's doing this, right? So technically, so say you took these aggressively, right? The 1 ATR was there, the 2 ATR was there, the 3 ATR is there. So you would have been stopped out of the 1. You're still not stopped out of the 2. The 3 ATR is up here. But the point is, like, if it keeps tagging the 1 and 2 stops, taking these coming back is a lot more risky as far as you may get stopped out on the chop. But the 2 never stopped either, so I'm okay taking the 2's right here. So I'm going to take the 2 coming back here too. This is gold, by the way, and this is the back and black reversion trade. Surprisingly, I came right there. So let's get filled with the tick here and watch it run away. So remember too, if you're trading with the zone drawing tool, these are each $500 of risk, right? So if you only want to risk $500 on the full back and black, 3, 2, and 1 back and blacks, then cut these in about a third, right? Maybe 3, 3, and 3. Then that whole risk would be $500 if you're taking the 3, 2, and 1 back to the zone. All right, so we'll see what happens there. We need the hero to turn up, or this reversion is going to be a loser, because this is what goes on. So why don't we get a quick little turn up, get out of the short long, and then watch this thing give it all back. All right, since something's going on, I'll quickly go over the flip book. So that I put this in the Discord. It's on the front page of my on Twitter as well. So everything here's in my trading. Here's these Stop Iceberg. I get this all the time. Which core should I get? So this is the core of what I'm doing, right? It's the 6 distinct setups that I look for in important areas to take my trades, right? And the rules around them. My important areas are my trading strategies. So that's for the position tradings and the sexy gexies and everything we've been talking about today. So that's the difference, right? So these are the 6 distinct setups. Then these are the areas. There's 16 or 17 of them now, and I add them. That's the great thing about all this is continuing education. As I add stuff into the future, you get it for free, right? So because there's going to be a lot more trading strategies in the future. I just stop out of my Oh no, that was I filled in gold. The other, like the 2 ATR reversion coming back here. I'm about to stop out of this reversion trade. It just cracks me up. I'm not kidding. Find one other person on the planet that has lost money today being long besides me. Here's a reversion course. So this teaches you what I'm doing with the reversion trade, right? This one was a back in black that day. That's not showing it as clear, but right. So this one was an ES. Tagged this gamma level, the 2, the 1, back to the zone. We saw the exact trade here in NASDAQ. I've already shown it, but in case there's new. Three, 2, 1, back to the zone. That's the closest thing to a scalp that you can make money on, in my opinion. That's that. This site's not functional right now. I got my programmers getting it back up. But this is just if you want the inflection zones and the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is the zone drawing tool. But the zone drawing tool is not working one day. You can access that. If you have the zone drawing tool and you want access to the spreadsheet, just email me and I'll get it to you. Here's my trade room. Again, I do this every day for my trade room. You can see in here, guys have been posting all day, and this is what I want.
Prior NQ disqualified.
Right, so this is what I want from my guys. If you come to my trade room, please participate. That's because I want that trade room to be like our own trading firm where everyone's sharing ideas. Because I can't tell you how many trades that I've caught because of guys, mainly Dune Runner, he's the teacher's pet of the room, pointing out trades that I'm missing, right? Here's what you need to follow my system. You need Bookmap, the basic software. Click on that, you get a discount to the software. You need the add-on. The add-on is the MBO bundle add-on, right? So you pick monthly, you need that. That gives you the Stop Icebergs. On-chart, sub-chart. You need the on-chart for the zone drawing tool. This is all part of it. It has market pulse as well. We'll go over that. This is ridiculous in its own right as far as the price change algo and the a pasted tape algo that I'm using more and more to try to determine important areas if it's going to blow through. We'll look at that if we get any kind of trade here. And then here's Apex. This is what I highly recommend you use when you're learning this. I still have all these. I have live accounts, but I'm using these too. All right, just stopped out of the A plus reversion. Again, the only person on the planet to be stopped out. Lose money on the long side. Hold on here. Get out of this. Actually, my stop was supposed to be at 31.50 for that. I don't know why that. This should be to the tick. Oh, look at that. It's like I'm psychic to the tick. All right, so I am short, and this is another area, by the way. This is another area I'll peel out, right? So this is a prior event, too. So I will show you here what I'm talking about. Hold on. Do a little ranting too. So these are the areas. Oh, by the way, so do you guys see why I lose my mind? Right there. Again, it's already happened like 4 times today. So again, multiply this times, I'd say my average tick out is 10 times a day, times every day for 25 years. There you go. Then you guys know why I'm absolutely out of my mind. Batshit crazy. All right. So that's stepped out of that. I actually still have it on one of my other accounts. So this was a good example. When I filled on that, well, that's where the stop was. I had 31.50 on my other account. I never got filled on it. But this is what I do, what I'm grateful for, that this is public. Like, people can actually see I'm not out of my mind. As far, almost all traders bitch about tick outs, things like that. We've already seen 2 today on the webinar, the exact price. It's just, it's insanity. It's literal insanity. Anyway, I should have been out of some of my short right there. That was right there. I didn't get out of it, but this is what I was going to show you. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So these are all the areas that I will get out. So that was a same day prior SI event. So I should have been out of one of them down here into this. This is because this is what happens. This is why we have these reversion trades, A+ reversions, because the traders that are caught here, that hold their breath, that wait for it to come back. When it hits there, they want the hell out. So that was right there, right? So I should have been out of at least one of my, I only had a couple. How many do I have on here? I had 5 on. I should have been out of 2 there. So that's my, I was too busy bitching about the tick. But guys, please acknowledge that I'm not out of my mind, please. So I'm building a collage of this too. Actually, I'm going to screenshot this right now because when I am in the rubber room, you guys come visit me. Or actually, you can share this throughout the internet where when you say, where'd Scott go? Oh, he got put away. He's in a straitjacket. You can share my collage. So here's another one. Here's the one earlier. Let's see. I already screenshotted that one. Let's see. Thought I circled it. Yeah, right there. Oh no, that was this one. Russell was earlier. Thought I circled it. That was earlier. Here, circle this one too. So we're already 2 today to the exact tick. It's nutty. That's all I gotta say. All right, I do have it working, and I did not get stopped out of my other account, my live account. So let's see if we can get up there. Just glad it's public. All right, so anyway, use Pulcini 50. This is my affiliate code. This is actually used. Thank you to me for showing you the best edge in the history of futures trading, in my opinion. That's the one I use. I've been using them for almost 4 years now. Best one that I've determined. There's a ton of them now. That's the one I use, Apex. Pulcini 50. And then here's everything else. Here's the monthly Q levels. Click on any of these. You get the discounts, monthly, yearly. Both of these are so important in trading now. If you're not using this stuff, you do not have all the information. Between the stop iceberg events and understanding the GEX levels and the real-time options flow, it is the driver of everything that's going on in this futures market. So discounts to that, discounts, use Scott for 50% off your first month spot gamma. These are the other things I use. This tick strike, again, I've been using this for about 15 years. I love it, but I hate it. There's nothing worse than listening to your position go against you as you're watching it. But I need to know this, like if stuff's firing off and crude, I can hear, they're hitting crude. So these are meters going from 1 to 15. 15 is it's an algo that's picking up the size of the orders coming through and the speed. This is the same as Market Pulse. I'll show you that in Bookmap. Market Pulse is tick strike on steroids. But anyway, it alerts you to other markets because if you're not staring at it, you don't know if there's some activity in there, right? So this tells you. I still use it, but again, Market Pulse is tick strike on steroids, and they built Market Pulse per my request. Right, so I'm going to show you probably a perfect example of the price change algo here. So they originally built this for me using the main one that's supposed to be the equivalent of tick strike is the volume, pressure, and balance. Actually, you got to delete these two. These are done. This month is done. Let me find it here. So this is the only one I changed the change the settings on. I can't find it now. Hold on. Volume, pressure, and balance, right? So I click on here, and I move mine. Actually, this isn't even set up right. You want it to an hour. That's because I just switched to these. I forgot to change it. So this is the only one I changed. So volume, pressure, and balance is telling me the most buying or selling in the last hour. Look, that's basically what Market Pulse is showing here. Let me change. I'm sure I didn't change this one either. Yeah, this one I changed. So here. So let's look at what this looks like right now. So there's patterns to this too. I'm actually going to make a video or a little free course for Bookmap on this, on some of these algos that I'm using in here. I'll hopefully get that out soon. But here's volume, pressure, and balance. So I haven't colored this yet since we rolled to, because I'm colorblind, so I need a better look. So buying cross threshold, I use yellow. And then selling cross threshold, I use black. All right, so this just tells you if they're being overly aggressive. And what the hell's going on here with this sweep? Someone's probably talking. I haven't even factored in yet. You know there's a news story coming out. Actually, I didn't have the guy talking. I turned him off. That's the other thing we've been dealing with, guys. Hold on. The other thing we've been dealing with is the headlines, right? It's like trading's hard enough, especially with the hero ripping one way and you don't see it coming, and then you have the random tariff talk and Trump says something like this guarantee was something. Just can't get filled on this other. I still have that reversion on my other account. Just can't get up here. But anyway, what I was talking about is this volume, pressure, and balance. So, it's very important to see. You can see earlier, this is showing you the most buying or selling in the last hour. So these guys got aggressive here initially, and it moved against them. We have patterns for this too, kind of like we have the, and it happened again here too. Actually, this was down here. So again, I don't trade off this, but you can use this to judge, right? So say you were long here, right, and you're like judging in a certain area if it's going to blow through. Well, if you see the buyers are getting really aggressive, and that's showing in the sweeps as well, then you can be like, okay, yeah, that's good. As long as that doesn't violate, I want to be long, right? I don't trade off this, but it helps me if it's coming into an area. So, for example, so say I'm long here and we're moving into GEX2, which I know dealers are going to be hedging. That's where I get out of some of my trade. Well, I can sit here and say, well, they're really aggressive here. I'm going to watch as it gets up here, and if it can blow through there, then I'm going to hold it, right? Instead of just jumping out, you can use that to help you. I'll show you a couple other ones you can use too. And then right here, it's just showing it. It's not, you're not always seeing it in the sweeps, but this one just happened to be the sweeps as well. So that was the most selling. Actually, that's the first time all day that can signal something too, right? Look at this. There's not another volume pressure. Well, pre-market there was, right? This is the first one since the open. So that can be signaling something too. See, I told you, it's a tariff headline. This is what's been going on. It is so hard to trade. I can't tell you how much money I have lost in the last 8 months trading with the tariff crap. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, that's what this was. It didn't really react and bounce right back, but this is what you go through. And this is mild compared to what we've been dealing with. Anyone who's been trading for the last, during Trump's presidency, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll get into these other, well, let me just show you price change here real quick. So this is what just runs the show too when there's nothing going on. Price change algo. So you can see every time this thing spikes, this is just default set on 5 minutes. That's this guy here. Let's see. No, not price lines. What am I looking for? Blanking. Market pulse. I'm on it. I'm already worn out today. Price change. You just... Here, I'll set it up for another product so you guys can see how to do it. But anyway, it's 5 minutes, right? So every 5 minutes, if you get the biggest price change the last 5 minutes, these algos react. You can see every time this thing spikes, market reacts. Market reacts. It's not always the same reaction. That one went forever, right? And then look to the downside. Another one. Right, so the point is, even if you're not trading this, if you really want to scalp, you can scalp it. It's still hard because you got to be quick most of the time getting in and out. But if you're going to scalp, you can use this. You can use this to time your entries. So actually, if I was watching that Russell trade where I got stopped to the tick earlier, and this one too, so I could have avoided. Here, hold on. There's something in Russell. I owe Russell a beat down after what happened. All right, so this was a stop run. This is bearish because it tagged the ATR below. I mean, technically, this is an A+ reversion. Your reversions are into this prior event, but it's already moved. I've seen these work, though, so I'll still take this A+ reversion here. This guy here. This one works, too. Let's take it. I can put on 2. So, again, this is the trade where we're playing back to the zone, right? Hold on. I don't want to miss this exit in NQ. I still have it on my live account. Could you just get back up to the damn zone? Seriously. I'm not kidding. When I'm not in these, it's straight back up. Straight back up. I'm in it. I already called this, by the way, too. Remember I told you that I'd be sitting in this trade for 2 hours? Hold on, let me get out of something right here. I just can't. I'm not going to handle... You're going to watch me break down on air, live on air, if I miss my fill to the tick again. There you go. Look at this. It tagged that exact tick. Get up there. You can do it. All right, I'm out of that trade. So I still had it on it. For some reason, I didn't get stopped out here on my other one. But this should have been a winner, too. I got filled to the exact tick. But my point is, if you're back to the market or price change, if you're watching this, if you see that, you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna pull my stop out for a second. You're risking, because this could price change. If big money comes in, it could price change for 100 points, right? Most of the time, the algos run the show. So when you know there's nothing going on and you don't see anything happening, you see this working, and your stops right here, you're like, wait a second, I'm not going to stop out into the price change.
An article from Axios saying White House defines the AI race with China says yesterday, however, we got into some of the particulars during an Axios AI plus.
Anyway, what I was showing you here,
This round,
if I was watching this closer earlier, I could have avoided this fill down here, right? This is the one I filled to the tick. It went down through a couple, but like, look right here. So I took the Izzy short here earlier. We talked about this, right? If I'm watching price change, I could be like, wait a second, I'm gonna wait for that. The worst case scenario, I could have waited for a price change the other way and got a better price. I still would have stopped out, but you see the point. Like, if this thing's price changing, you can wait, and you can actually wait for an opposing and get a way better fill up here. But again, this works until it doesn't work. Yesterday, you saw a couple price changes that were 100 points. So, you know, these algos have it factored in. By the way, there's the exact tick fill there too. Shocking. These algos have it factored in too. They take them, they win, and then they get run over, and then they're back to that. So it's all part of trading, right? You're going to have losses, but this price change algo is ridiculous too. I'm going to make a course on these soon, so, but you guys can figure it out. It's pretty soft. Oh, I took a reversion trade, so that's the teacher's pet telling me not to take this reversion trade. So we have disqualifiers. This is part of, I have this in the course. We have disqualifiers for taking reversion trades. If there's heavy relative volume, you don't want to take it, so I got to get out of this. So he says heavy relative volume. Let's see what he's talking about. So again, I use the Sierra chart relative volume. This is showing me the exact 5-minute period. There you go. This is what he was pointing out. Good call, Dune Runner. Teacher's pet. So I don't want to be taking reversion trades when I see the big money coming in here, right? Because this thing could just get smushed, right? I mean, it's been coming in all day, but the point is, reversion trades are a no-no, and so are sexy gexies, right? So sexy gexies, like into the open there, where I took that sexy gexie short in NASDAQ, if there's heavy relative volume, I don't mess around. Yeah, I know the dealers are hedging here, but if it's big money coming into these gex levels, right? So this is where I took the sexy gexie. I know the dealers are hedging, but if there's big money plowing through it, these dealers aren't going to matter. It just rips right through here, right? So if I see heavy relative volume, I don't take sexy gexies, and I won't take reversion trades, right, into the relative volume. If there's nothing going on, then I take them as normal. So again, this is all part of the course. Guys, so I made the courses because I'm always getting from you guys, and not you guys, but you know what I mean, people, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I can't follow what you're doing. Well, of course you can't until you watch this for a while. That's why I made the courses. So you can learn watching me. You can learn in my room. It's going to take you some time to learn real time, because I mean, I'm making mistakes and it's my stuff. I can imagine trying to watch me hop from market to market, strategy to strategy. So that's why I made the courses, so you can understand what you're watching when you come watch me trade live, to understand how to do this stuff. All right, so I filled on the reversion there on my other account. I got stopped to the tick on this one. And then I still have the slug short on. My stop for that's up here. So how about you? Did anybody else in the trade room, did you guys get filled with the tick there, or am I the only person on the planet that got filled with the tick? And I'm still short this 2 reversions here in gold. Actually, I got to put this stop in here. Oh, I didn't put the 1 on. The 2 stops way up here. Right? No, that's the 3. Where's the 2? Oh, the 2's right here. So I'm going to move the 2 out above this too, so I don't stop out right on these gex levels that it's bounced off of like 10 times. So here's my stop for the 2. Now I just wait for this to come back. Again, when I'm in reversions, it sits here for 4 hours, but the trade's on. It's gold. We already went over that. What else? So here's a good example of not taking. Oh, thanks a lot, Dune Runner. Now Dune Runner's in the doghouse, because that did work. So if he didn't text me, this one would have won. Now you're in the doghouse, Dune Runner. See, there you go. Hey, look, hey, where did I stop out at? Did I sell that right at the low tick there? Oh, who knew? And it's fine. Again, I'm not supposed to take that trade. I'd be really happy if it went like that, but it worked. You little piglets. Here's another one. This is 3 on the day, by the way. Exact tick. Again, times that times 20 a day, and you know I'm losing it. This is an example of not taking a sexy Gexy. It hasn't really been a loser yet, but this was basically into the number. You had this huge buy ice. Let me get this price change off here. Huge buy ice into this Gex level, right? I wouldn't take that one. Why? Because look at this relative volume coming in. Right here. So this is almost 6 times normal relative volume. I'm not fading Gex levels with huge relative volume coming in. There's bigger players at play. I'm not going to hope it doesn't mean it won't. It's got way less of a chance, so I don't take them. Less probability, and that's all trading is probability. All right, so this is the rest of the stuff I use. The trader saying we got something coming out. One of my members, he's like did like a thesis at Oxford or something. He's a complete brainiac. Anyway, he's developed an AI where it records everything without you having to do it. You don't have to download CS files. This is for your journaling stuff. It's coming out very, very soon. Members of my trade room will get it for free, and it basically gives you everything you get in these other ones for free. So even if you don't get the paid version, and if you're a member of my room, nothing has to be paid. But say you're not a member of my room and you want the journaling stuff, this stuff is all going to be available for free that they do. So it's going to be incredible. It should be out not any day, but pretty soon. We'll do a webinar on it. And here's Ludwig levels. I don't know if I mentioned those. They're kind of strong. I don't know. Let's look at the 14 times they've worked today already. All right, so this one to the tick worked a little bit. I'm still short this trade, by the way, but it's coming back. That's fine. That's the right trade. I put on the right trade there. Gold to the tick. These are nuts too. The levels we use are unbelievable right there. How's that one? Pretty good. Let's see. Got any other ones? Nothing in Russell. Here's twice, basically. How's that? Is that good? That's a 60-point trade off the lug, and this one came within, I don't know, 2 points. Reacted. So guys, this is why I use the stuff that I use. So anyway, you can if you go to her website from 1940 and she still hasn't changed. It's not even a secure website. I don't know what she's waiting for on this, but she still hasn't changed it. Anyway, fill in this stuff. Say you saw it on the Bookmap webinar, or you're part of my trade room if you're part of my trade room, and then you get she has special pricing for you. And there's a YouTube channel with a lot of my stuff that I've done, and then. All right, I'm gonna stop out of this slug. Possibly. Because this is exactly what I'm talking about. These are probabilities, right? This was the right trade. I mean, I have no problem putting that trade on, that short on. And the other thing I messed up on, remember I talked about this. I didn't take off some there, which I should have. Now I'm going to pay the price because this is how my trading life works. If I make a mistake, I pay it dearly. Anyway, I still would have some on, but I was going to get out of some at this prior event. So now I get to get stopped out. So hopefully you guys got out of there. Anyway, that's that. And then here's how to contact me. Here's my Twitter, YouTube. There's a podcast with my story. You guys have heard my story. And then here's my reviews. So that's that flip book. I posted it in the Discord. Another stop run in Russell. So now we just move to the next one. Did I tell you, Dune Runner, you're in the doghouse for not taking me out of that trade? Could have used a winner in Russell today. All right, event. Let's see where we're at. Are we in an important area? This is not quite in a Z zone. You know, these are zones, they're not exact prices. You can see where this failed the first time. That's why we have these things, right? I can look at yesterday. Came down during the FOMC, still held basically to the tick. So I draw these every day for myself and my trade room. It's close. You know, the way of these markets, this is so bullish. I'm not going to skirt to go short. Like if I get an event in the zone, man, this one's close, but I'm not going to be like, oh, that's close enough. So I get another one, I'll take it. But that's it. I'm not taking that short unless I get another one. Let's see what else we got here. Other areas. So again, I'm just scanning these areas. These are the strategies. We took the slug. Here's the Izzy. If I take that, then we have all these other strategies that I could be taking depending on where we're at. Let's see, are we anywhere else? We are at daily value very high. I don't use a, it's not one of my areas, but it does respond, by the way. There's VWAP, right off VWAP. I don't trade VWAP by itself either, but you could say, this is my point, like say you love trading VWAP, like Austin from ASFX, I've done a couple webinars with him. He's a huge VWAP guy, right? That's what he trades off of. I'm not saying he trades right into VWAP, but he like bases his trades if he's long or short based on where the market is to VWAP, from what I understand. So anyway, say you like trading off VWAP. Well, wait for an event there. If you get it, then you can take. Otherwise, I wouldn't take it. That's my, me telling you to use the most powerful thing you could possibly use, the SI indicator. But this one you wouldn't have gone long off of. I mean, this was down into the VWAP, where I stopped out exactly, by the way, for that reversion that I shouldn't have put on. All right, so there's really nothing for me to go short here. It's close to that Izzy zone, but I'm not skirting, I'm not saying it's close enough in this market environment, right? This thing's breaking out of this balance. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, that's close enough, right? If I would have got an Izzy here, I would have taken it. There just wasn't one up there, I don't think, right? Look at yesterday too, by the way, how's that? And then today, again. So this is here. So it's not quite there, I'm not going to take it. This is breaking out of balance, guys, which you do want to watch for going into the rest of the day. If this comes back, line in the sand. If this gets through 2420 and you start getting events, watch out below, right? Same thing happened at ES the other way yesterday. Tried to break down out of balance, got back to the high volume node, off to the races. This is interesting. This is putting in selling tails. That's not usually what you want to see if you're long overall. So tails are instant rejection areas. Here's ridiculous NASDAQ. Just off the page. This was another one from yesterday. I was going to go long here too into the close. If it got through here, but it was kind of struggling here, right, yesterday. And then, of course, overnight, then they do the sneak attack, the upside. I thought it might be to the downside, but it was an upside. It just seems like the biggest moves are overnight lately. But that's a failed balance breakdown of that stuff, right? They built more balance yesterday, launched, held this guy, held that zone, off to the races. I have nothing up here now. I will draw this, depending on what happens here. This is probably going to be a zone for tomorrow. Say this fails here. Well, you got selling tail. There'll be another selling tail likely. That'll be a zone. That's how I draw them. I draw them on the four important areas of charting. Tops and bottoms of balance areas. High volume nodes of balance areas, meaning the middle where the most trade occurred. Directional conviction, meaning gaps are directional conviction. So like, for instance, this is why this is here. Market closed there, gapped up to here, right? And it was a tail too. So that's how I draw those zones, and they're incredibly powerful in their own right. All right, let's see if you guys got any questions. I got to hop off here in 5 minutes. Dan says we gave you a Bookmap jacket. Yes, you did. Actually, I haven't even opened that yet. Yeah, if you can, actually, you guys should have a, speaking of which, I got to talk about this other stuff here that they got going on. You guys should come up with a straitjacket method too, or a straitjacket model for psychos like me. Anyway, so you guys want to, I'll just show this. This isn't a big deal. So this is what Dan sent me. So it's not this stuff for me, but Bookmap Pets competition. So I should take a bit. My daughter's cat is in my office every single day, laying against my computer monitors and my Bookmap screen. So I'll post one of those myself. So do that if you want to win free stuff. I think they get free. I forgot the exact things, but it's like free data, stuff like that. This I'm not aware of. Let's see what this is. So Bruce is the the main guy. He's the guy I've dealt with for forever, since day one at Bookmap. Awesome individual. Knows what he's talking about. He has his own methods that he looks at. So Bruce pilot program. Try that guy. Let's see. I'll put that in the. I'll put it in a second because I can't go back there right now. And then here's the next stream coming up at 1 o'clock. I don't know this guy either. I do know he needs a tan, so maybe I'll talk to him about coming to Arizona a little bit. So that's it. So Dan, if you could post this stuff in the in my room, or whatever you want them to see. So Bruce Pilot's program, that's interesting. Again, guys, I'm always on the lookout. I've never ever once said like I know it all or this is it. I'm never going to adapt. If I hear something from a trader that makes sense, I'll start to look at it and then I'll incorporate it. So even if it's a trader that's not like a educator, right? The Ludwig levels. I knew nothing about these levels until someone in my room back, this was like 2020, told me how powerful these things were, right? We've already shown the 10 times they've worked today, right? I don't just throw it in my trading right away, but I watched it for months. I'm like, holy crap, these things are unbelievable, and they're even more ridiculous when I get a volume event there, right? So like Ludwig levels, algo guy, this is exponential moving average, very important in my trading too for certain trades. I didn't, and he wasn't even aware of this. Guy that I was mentoring showed me it. He actually took trades off this, and he wanted to find a way to make them better. Well, the way to make them better is look for the volume events in these areas. So my point is, I'm always open to learning new things that I'm not aware of. You don't know what you don't know, right? And I know in about 2 seconds whether it's bullshit or not. Pardon my language, right? But if it makes sense, I'm like, that's interesting. Now let's see if I can incorporate the volume event. Same thing with the mentor Q levels, right? Did the same thing with these things. Like, these are unbelievable, especially when you get the volume event there. Now I incorporated these in my trading. So the point is, Bruce knows what he's talking about. He's been doing this a long, long time. He used to be a quant for a large firm or large entity. So he knows what he's talking about. He has a different view of the market, and that's completely fine. A lot of you guys have different views of the market, right? So what I'm telling you is learn what he's teaching and then throw in my rules for the SI event, and then you got yourself a real edge. All right, so guys, this is, I'm not stopped out of this yet. I mean, this trade hasn't worked. I should have been on a sundown here, this slug short. But this is why I put my stop where I put my stop. So I avoid this as much as possible, because that's all these jackasses do. This is a zero-sum game. They're trying to take your money, right? So how many traders right there just puked out that said, oh, I'm going to go short with Scott. Oh, man, Scott sucks. I'm out of this, right? You get out there, and then very likely, not very likely, but most likely is going to break now, right? So that's why I put my stop up here. So stop rolling your eyes when I say I'm in here and out here. That position sizing adapts to that, and that's the best way I've determined to trade these things, right? Again, I'm mad because I should have been on it. I have 5 on. I should have been on 2 down here, and I didn't because I'm not on my game lately. All right, let's see if there's any other questions, and I gotta bail. First, I lost the Discord. It'll take me about 10 minutes to find my channel with the 80,000 channels they have in here in Bookmap. There you go. Right. No questions. All right. Guess you guys know it all. Another stop on Russell back. Now this is in that Izzy zone. If this does fail, so this is what I was saying. Now I'll take the Izzy short if this works. Granted, you're heading into a really bad time of day, 10:30 Eastern. Central. But this is now a stop run of that, and so you can take that and be aware whatever way this thing's facing, moving, it usually goes the other way right around now. So this has been moving down. Wouldn't surprise me to see it move all the way back. Again, that's just observation. Go to my Twitter feed or X feed. You can see all the times I've shown it in the last few months. All right, that's it. I do this every day for my trade room. Come on by and watch me get taken away in a straight jacket. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.